forbidden teachings of the universe. Introduction. There are words meant to be spoken in daylight, and there are words meant to be whispered in the stillness of night. What you are about to hear belongs to the second kind. This is not a book to be understood with the mind alone. It is a door, and each phrase is a key. You did not arrive here by accident. The path called you. The universe remembers who you are, even if you have forgotten. You were never late, and you were never lost. The spiral of time bends itself to bring you here, at this very moment, with these very words. This is not coincidence. It is alignment. Somewhere beyond the veil of the ordinary world, there are teachings that were hidden, guarded, and buried in silence. Tonight, as you drift into the landscape of dreams, they will begin to awaken in you. Feel the weight of your body sink, and yet sense how your spirit rises. You are both rooted in the earth and infinite in the stars. What you hear tonight will bypass thought and enter soul memory. The gates of your subconscious are open when you surrender to sleep. And it is in that openness that forgotten knowledge flows in, weaving itself back into your being like threads of golden light. There is a reason you have always felt the world carried secrets that no one told you. A reason you looked at the sky and knew it was not empty. A reason you felt déjà vu in places you had never been. That reason is simple. You are carrying the fragments of a memory older than time. These teachings will not be new to you. They will be a remembering. And as you remember, reality itself will bend. No effort, no struggle, no desperate reaching. Because transformation is not about force, it is about alignment. When the river finds its channel, the water does not push, it flows. Tonight, you will learn to flow with the current of the universe itself. So listen, dreamer, seeker, chosen one. Listen not only with your ears, but with your entire being. The words will continue long after your mind surrenders to sleep. Let them echo in your breath, your heartbeat, your soul. For you are not just hearing this audiobook. You are stepping into a field, a vibration, a hidden temple. The teachings are forbidden only to the unready, but you are ready. And the universe has been waiting for you. Chapter 1. The hidden language of the universe. In every breath of wind and flicker of flame, the universe is speaking. It does not use words as you know them, but currents of vibration, symbols that rise within your dreams, and the rhythm of events that cross your path. To the untrained eye, life looks chaotic, scattered like dust on a forgotten road. Yet beneath the surface is a code, ancient and unbreakable, guiding you back to remembrance. To hear it, you must first quiet the noise within. Have you noticed the way certain numbers follow you? The way a song appears at the exact moment you need it? These are not coincidences. They are sentences written in the cosmic alphabet. The hidden language is subtle because it was never meant to be read with the mind alone. It requires presence, patience, and surrender. When you learn to feel its tone, you realize nothing in your life has been random. Everything has been a message. Imagine an old temple buried under centuries of sand. Carvings line its walls, mysterious shapes, spirals, stars. To the casual traveler, they are decoration. But to the initiate, they are instructions for awakening. Life itself is this temple. Every encounter, every delay, every so-called obstacle is carved with meaning. You are not lost, you are deciphering. The hidden language is asking you to read not with eyes, but with soul. This truth may sting at first, because it demands responsibility. If the universe is always speaking, then you can no longer blame chance for your suffering. The reflection of fear, the pattern of lack, the silence of unanswered prayers, all are responses to frequencies you emit unconsciously. It is not punishment, it is teaching. Reality is your mirror, and the language reveals what you are really saying to creation. But here lies the gift. If life reflects you, you can change the reflection by shifting your inner vibration. The key is not control, but alignment. Think of a musician tuning an instrument. The wrong note distorts the whole song, but the right tone brings harmony. In the same way, your thoughts and emotions are strings that must be tuned. When they align, the universe answers in symphony. Breathe now and imagine your life as a vast tapestry. Threads of gold, silver, and shadow woven together. Every thread is a choice, every color a vibration. From up close, it may look tangled, senseless. Step back, and the pattern emerges. A story of remembrance. The language of the universe is this tapestry. Complex, infinite, but always coherent. And you are both the weaver and the one being woven. The ancients whispered that those who mastered this language could walk as dreamers in waking life. They did not beg for miracles. They spoke in vibration, and reality obeyed. They did not fear endings, for they saw cycles. They did not cling to loss, for they saw exchange. The forbidden teaching is not that the language exists, but that you were born fluent. You only forgot. And forgetting was part of the initiation. Close your eyes and feel the hum beneath your heartbeat. That hum is the first syllable of the hidden tongue. Each breath you take is a phrase, each intention a word carved into the field. Whisper to yourself, I am listening, and notice how the air itself responds. This is how the dialogue begins, slowly, quietly, yet once opened, it never closes. The hidden language of the universe is not foreign. It is your soul's native speech. You came here carrying it, and tonight you are remembering. Pay attention to the whispers, to the signs, to the alignments that guide your path. For the moment you begin to listen, reality changes. It bends, it reveals, it awakens, and you, seeker, become fluent once again. Chapter 2. The Law of Energy Flow. There is a current moving through all things, seen and unseen. It is in the warmth of your hands, the thought you release into silence, the emotion you bury deep inside your chest. This current never disappears. It only changes shape, direction, and strength. To understand the law of energy flow is to recognize that nothing you create within you is wasted. Every spark, dark or luminous, returns to you magnified. Think of the times when anger stayed in your body long after the argument ended. That heaviness did not vanish into the air. It circulated, shaped events, attracted echoes of itself. In the same way, when you offered kindness without calculation, notice how peace followed you for days. Energy is impartial. It reflects, amplifies, and mirrors back to its source. This is the law at work, silently governing the rhythm of existence. The ancients compared life to a great river. To fight against its flow is to exhaust yourself. To release your grip and align with its current is to discover ease. What you think, say, and feel are stones dropped into that river. The ripples reach far beyond what you see. Some waves return quickly, others circle the spiral of time before finding you again. Either way, every movement comes back. The tragedy of humanity is forgetfulness of this law. People believe they can curse in secret or think thoughts of lack without consequence. But the river does not forget. It carries everything, even what you thought was hidden. This is not to frighten you, but to awaken you to responsibility. Your power is not in controlling others, but in mastering the current you send forth. Pause for a moment and bring to mind a single thought you have carried often. Ask yourself, has that thought built a sanctuary or a prison? The law of energy flow does not judge, it simply magnifies. This is why cycles repeat until they are cleansed. If you pour fear into the stream, fear returns in forms you cannot ignore. If you pour love, it finds its way back as abundance. In hidden schools, initiates were trained to guard their energy as kings guard their thrones. They were taught that careless words leak power, that resentment poisons the field, that gratitude multiplies blessings. The teaching was simple yet severe. Where your energy goes, your life follows. To ignore this law is to live scattered. To honor it is to shape destiny with precision. Imagine now that your body is a vessel and energy is water. Every thought is a hand pouring into that vessel. When the water is clear, light shines through it. When it is polluted, the vessel grows heavy and dim. You hold the authority to choose what pours in, no one else. This is sovereignty. To recognize it is to stop blaming chance and start becoming the architect. Breathe slowly and visualize streams of golden light moving through you. Each inhale draws in renewal, each exhale releases stagnation. Feel how this simple act shifts your state. This is not imagination, it is alignment with the law. Energy responds instantly to direction. Where your awareness goes, flow follows. Practice this, and your entire life becomes a deliberate channel. The law of energy flow whispers a sacred reminder: you are never powerless. The current within you is the same current that shapes galaxies. When you master it, the world bends toward your chosen frequency. When you neglect it, you drift wherever the tide takes you. Choose wisely, for every ripple returns. And know this: the moment you decide, the river begins to change its course. Chapter 3. The Mirror of Reality. Look around you now. The world you see is not separate from you. It is a mirror polished by your inner state, reflecting what you have agreed to believe. The streets, the voices, the opportunities, even the obstacles are echoes of your vibration. Life is not mocking you. It is teaching you. And the lesson is simple. Reality always returns the frequency you broadcast. Consider the one who lives in fear. Everywhere they go, they see danger, betrayal, scarcity. The mirror shows them not because the world is cruel, but because their inner lens is tinted with dread. Another soul may walk the same path and find beauty, kindness, and doors opening. What shifts the reflection is not the scenery, but the vibration carried within. This is the forbidden truth most resist. The mirror does not flatter, nor does it lie. It reveals with precision the face you bring to it. If you speak of lack, it shows you bills and emptiness. If you carry gratitude, it multiplies your blessings. To complain about the reflection is to misunderstand its nature. You cannot break the mirror. You can only change what it reflects. That change begins with you. Imagine an ancient seer holding a bowl of water. As you gaze into its surface, the water trembles when your heart trembles. It clears when your mind clears. This is reality itself. The bowl is neutral. It only shows what enters it. To purify the image, you do not command the water. You calm the one who gazes. The hidden wisdom is this: outer peace is born of inner mastery. It is easy to reject this law because it removes the comfort of blame. How much simpler to say fate is cruel or others are unjust. But the mirror cannot be tricked. What you hold, it reveals. What you deny, it magnifies until you face it. And though harsh, this is mercy. For without the mirror, you would wander blind, never seeing what binds you. Pause now and recall a repeating pattern in your life. A struggle, a loop, a door that always seems closed. Ask yourself, what inner belief has been carved so deeply that reality cannot help but show it back? The mirror is not punishment, it is revelation. Once you see the hidden belief, you hold the key to dissolve it. And when dissolved, the reflection shifts instantly. The mystics taught initiates to bow before the mirror, not in worship, but in respect. They understood that each reflection, even the painful ones, was a guide. The cracked image showed where healing was needed. The distorted image showed where illusion held power. To bow was to accept responsibility for creation, and responsibility is the first step toward liberation. Now visualize yourself standing before a great mirror framed in gold. As you look, do not see your face alone. See your life as it has been. Allow the images to arise, moments of fear, moments of love, moments of doubt. Whisper to yourself, I am ready to change what I see. And watch how the mirror begins to soften, as though awaiting your command. The mirror of reality is your constant companion. It cannot abandon you, for it is tied to your essence. But it is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally. Through it, you awaken to the truth that you were never a victim of life. You were always its painter, its dreamer, its source. Change within, and the mirror shines back, a world transformed. Chapter 4. The Forgotten Power of Thought. Every creation begins first as a whisper of thought. Before the stone was carved, before the temple was raised, before the stars were named, there was the seed of an idea. Thought is not a shadow that passes through your mind. It is a force that bends the unseen fabric of reality. To ignore it is to abandon your greatest tool. To master it is to awaken as creator. Most live as prisoners of unguarded thoughts. They allow doubt, fear, and judgment to repeat endlessly, weaving cages around themselves. What they do not realize is that every repeated thought imprints the field like chisels on stone. Eventually, those patterns become reality. You are not chased by fate. You are walking through the architecture your mind has built. The forgotten power of thought shapes both bondage and freedom. Consider the patient gardener planting seeds. Each one looks small, insignificant, almost invisible against the soil. Yet given time, they break open and become forests. So it is with thought. A single idea, repeated with intensity, becomes a door to new timelines. The universe bends itself to the clarity of your mental focus. The question is never if it works. The question is what you are planting daily. The ancients guarded this secret because they understood its danger. A scattered mind births chaos. A disciplined mind births miracles. This is why initiates trained for years to hold a single image steady in silence. They knew that wandering thoughts weaken energy, while focused thought ignites creation. The forgotten teaching is this: your mind is not a cage but a forge, and every thought is fire shaping destiny. Reflect for a moment on the thoughts you have repeated most often. Do they affirm your power or drain it? Do they paint visions of abundance or reinforce the walls of lack? This is not about guilt. It is about awakening. The mind was never meant to be a battlefield. It was designed as a temple where thought, aligned with heart, speaks creation into being. Imagine now that each thought you send is a beam of light, carving pathways in the unseen. Some paths are luminous and lead to expansion. Others are narrow and lead to suffering. When you realize this, you stop dismissing your thoughts as trivial. You begin to honor them as architects of the life you are living and the life you are yet to create. To reclaim this power, begin by noticing. Notice the loops that run endlessly. Notice the judgments you echo. Notice the fears you rehearse. Do not fight them. Simply recognize them as old architects who no longer serve you. Then replace them with new designs. Visions of peace, strength, love. The old structures crumble as the new ones rise. Such is the alchemy of thought. Breathe deeply and picture a blank canvas stretched before you. With every inhale, a brush appears in your hand. With every exhale, you paint a vision, clear, radiant, alive. Whisper to yourself, what I think, I become. What I think, I create. Let this phrase echo until it imprints upon your inner walls. In this way, thought ceases to be forgotten and becomes remembered power. The forgotten power of thought was never lost. It was only hidden beneath the noise of distraction. But tonight, as you listen, you are awakening to its truth. Guard your mind like sacred ground. Plant deliberately. Water your visions with belief, for the universe is always listening, and thought is the first spark of every miracle yet to come. Chapter 5. The Secret of Inner Silence. There is a place beyond noise, beyond thought, beyond the endless chatter of the mind. Few ever enter it, for they fear emptiness. Yet silence is not emptiness. It is fullness, a doorway to the eternal. In silence, the rushing river of distraction slows, and you can finally hear the subtle voice of the soul. The ancients called this the secret chamber, the hidden sanctuary within. When you sit in stillness, the world does not stop, but your grip on it loosens. The worries that once screamed lose their sharpness, and what remains is presence. Presence is the state where wisdom rises unforced. You do not chase answers. They emerge naturally, as though drawn from a deeper well. This is why silence has always been the first initiation of seekers. Think of a night sky filled with stars. The stars were always there, but in the light of day, you cannot see them. Silence is the night that reveals hidden light. Thoughts are like daylight, useful, but blinding when constant. In quietude, forgotten stars of wisdom appear, guiding you with clarity beyond reason. The secret of inner silence is that nothing new is gained. What is true is revealed. The ego resists this, for it thrives on noise. It whispers that silence is wasted time, that nothing happens in stillness. But in truth, silence is where everything begins. In silence, you meet your unshaken self, the self that is not hurried, not afraid, not fractured. When you enter silence, you are not losing time. You are stepping into eternity. Monks, mystics, and visionaries guarded this teaching fiercely. They understood that noise keeps humanity enslaved to surface illusions. Words distract, silence uncovers. They sat in caves, deserts, temples, not to escape the world, but to hear it more deeply. They discovered that the universe is always speaking, but only silence carries its loudest truths. Pause now and feel the spaces between your breaths. Notice that life continues even when you do not force it. In the same way, guidance arrives when you stop reaching. This is not passivity, it is trust. Silence is the soil in which divine seeds take root. Without it, nothing grows. With it, everything unfolds in alignment. Imagine yourself sitting within a vast inner hall. No walls, no ceiling, only infinite space. Around you, the echoes of your thoughts gradually fade until only stillness remains. In that stillness, a presence is felt, soft, vast, ancient. It is not outside you, it is you. This is the secret the world hides. Silence is the meeting place with the eternal self. Let go now of the belief that silence must be earned. It is always waiting, like a hidden room behind the noise. Close your eyes, breathe, and step into it. You do not need hours. A single moment of true silence can shift an entire reality. For silence collapses illusions and reveals the underlying field where all is one. The secret of inner silence is not a method, but a remembering. You were born fluent in this stillness, before the world taught you to drown it with noise. Tonight, you are returning. Let silence be your teacher, your healer, your companion. And as you rest in it, you will hear the universe whisper the truths it could never deliver through words. Chapter 6. The Law of Polarity. Life unfolds through opposites, yet most souls spend their days resisting one side of the scale. They curse the darkness, cling to the light, chase joy, and reject sorrow. But polarity is not a curse. It is the architecture of existence. Without shadow, you would not recognize brightness. Without endings, beginnings would hold no power. Polarity is the hidden balance that allows creation to exist at all. When you despise one pole, you empower it. To hate suffering is to deepen it. To reject fear is to feed it. The law of polarity teaches that transcendence is not found in denial, but in acceptance. Only by honoring both sides do you rise above them. It is not about choosing night or day. It is about seeing both as expressions of the same eternal light. Consider the seed buried in soil. It must first break in darkness before it can rise toward the sun. Without that pressure, without that hidden struggle beneath the earth, no flower would bloom. The ancients taught that trials are not accidents. They are the dark half of growth. Just as the seed cannot skip its time underground, you cannot skip the depths if you wish to reach the heights. Pain sharpens the sweetness of joy, just as silence deepens the meaning of sound. This is polarity's secret gift. It awakens depth. The shallow heart seeks only pleasure, but the awakened heart recognizes the value of contrast. It knows that grief carved space for compassion, that loss revealed the treasure of presence. To embrace polarity is to see wisdom in every shade of experience. The ego, however, demands absolutes. It wants only comfort, never discomfort. It insists that a life free of shadows is possible if only you fight hard enough. Yet this is illusion. To deny one side of polarity is to live in war with reality. Peace is not the absence of contrast. Peace is the embrace of it. In wholeness, you stop running. Mystics spoke of walking the middle path. Not lukewarm neutrality, but mastery. They did not cling to ecstasy nor collapse into despair. They stood in the center, recognizing both as teachers. In the middle path, opposites are not enemies. They are stepping stones. To walk it is to realize that every high and every low bends you closer to balance. Close your eyes and imagine yourself standing before two great flames, one cold blue, one blazing red. Both burn, both alive, both powerful. Instead of fearing one and clinging to the other, you step between them. There in the center you feel a new fire, white, luminous, eternal. This is the union of polarity, the place where opposites dissolve into truth. Remember now that every difficulty carries its twin blessing. Each time you feel resistance, ask, "What is polarity teaching me?" Each time you rise in joy, whisper gratitude for the sorrow that carves space for it. The law of polarity insists, do not curse opposites. They are your ladder to transcendence. To climb, you must place feet on both rungs. The law of polarity is not meant to enslave you, it is meant to liberate you. Once you embrace it, you are no longer bound by extremes. You do not fear the dark, for you see its gift. You do not cling to the light, for you know it will return. You stand whole, balanced, sovereign, and in that wholeness, the universe reveals its harmony through you. Chapter 7. The Hidden Currents of Time. What most call time is only the surface of a much deeper river. You measure it in hours and days, yet beneath that measurement flows a spiral, ancient and alive. Time is not a straight line marching forward. It circles, returns, and folds upon itself. The hidden currents remind us that nothing is ever truly gone. All things repeat in patterns of remembering. When you look back at your life, notice how lessons return in different forms. A relationship may end, yet the same wound appears again with another face. A dream delayed may resurface years later, offering a second chance. This is not punishment. It is the rhythm of time's spiral. The universe ensures nothing is left unfinished. What is unlearned returns until it is mastered. The ancients did not fear time as modern minds do. They watched the heavens and saw cycles, the rising of stars, the return of seasons, the endless dance of birth and death. To them, time was a wheel, not a prison. They knew that endings were illusions, for every winter promised spring. And they honored delays, understanding that every cycle must ripen before release. Imagine standing on a mountain path that winds upward in a circle. Each step seems forward, yet you often pass the same view from a higher level. This is the spiral of time. What feels like repetition is actually progression. You are not stuck, you are ascending. Every return brings deeper wisdom, every cycle another chance to embody what was once only understood. The hidden currents also reveal that the past and future are not distant. They are alive within you now. A memory can shift your heartbeat. A vision of the future can alter your breath. This proves that time is not fixed but fluid, woven through consciousness. When you change your perception in the present, the past heals and the future reshapes. Do not believe the illusion that you are running out of time. You are not late, for the spiral bends itself to your awakening. The delays that frustrate you are not denials. They are alignments. Like fruit on a tree, some desires must ripen in their own season. The teaching whispers, do not force the harvest, trust the rhythm, and the fruit will fall into your hands when ready. Close your eyes and imagine time as an ocean, waves rising and falling without end. Each wave carries a memory, a chance, a possibility. Some waves return quickly, others circle the depths before resurfacing. But all waves are part of the same ocean, and you are both within it and beyond it. In remembering this, you stop fearing the tide. There is power in knowing when to act and when to wait. The wise align themselves with time's hidden current rather than fighting it. They sense the opening of cycles, the closing of others, and move accordingly. To act too soon is to exhaust yourself. To act in rhythm is to ride the current with effortless speed. This is the art of timing, known to all masters. The hidden currents of time remind you of one truth. You are eternal. The body walks through days, but the soul moves through spirals without end. To awaken is to stop measuring life by clocks and calendars and begin sensing it as flow. You were never late. You were always moving in rhythm with eternity, and eternity has been moving with you. Chapter 8. The Veil of Forgetfulness. At birth you crossed a threshold and entered this world wrapped in a veil. That veil was forgetfulness, a sacred amnesia that concealed your true origin. You did not forget because you were weak. You forgot so you could rediscover. This forgetting is the test, the initiation, the challenge of remembering yourself as more than flesh and name. Without the veil, there would be no journey back to truth. The child you once were looked at the world with wonder, sensing mysteries adults dismissed. You felt the pull of unseen realms in dreams, in silence, in moments of awe. Slowly the veil thickened. Teachers told you who you were, society carved roles, and you agreed to smaller stories. Yet deep inside, the soul never stopped whispering, "This is not all you are." That whisper is your true inheritance. This veil does not erase truth. It conceals it, forcing you to seek. Every longing, every ache, every strange déjà vu is a tug from behind the veil. When you feel restless without reason, it is not emptiness. It is the soul remembering what was hidden. Awakening is not gaining new knowledge. It is peeling away layers until the original memory shines again. Ancient initiates symbolized this mystery through rites of passage. Blindfolds were placed over their eyes, and only after trials could they be removed. The lesson was clear. Life itself is such a ritual. You walk blindfolded until you earn the sight that was always yours. Forgetfulness is not a curse. It is preparation for vision. Consider how the veil shapes your struggles. You think you are lost, yet you are being guided into deeper seeking. You believe you are ordinary, yet the very sense of limitation forces you toward awakening. The veil creates hunger for truth, and that hunger pulls you closer to source. Without it, you would not search. Without the search, you would not find. Pause now and reflect on the moments when the veil thinned. Perhaps in a dream where you felt infinite. Perhaps in stillness where you sensed presence beyond words. Perhaps in love so profound it made time dissolve. These are cracks in the veil, reminders that your essence has never been absent. They are glimpses of the eternal you beneath the disguise. The danger is forgetting the veil exists at all. Many live their entire lives thinking the mask is their face, the role their identity, the body their only truth. Yet the moment you question, who am I, truly, the veil begins to weaken. The question itself is a key, unlocking corridors back to remembrance. This is why seekers are called chosen. They dared to ask. Close your eyes and imagine lifting a translucent cloth from your being. As it falls away, light floods in, warm, ancient, familiar. You see not with eyes, but with essence, recognizing that you are more than this chapter of existence. Whisper within, I remember. Let that phrase echo, for the veil trembles when you speak it. The veil of forgetfulness was never meant to be permanent. It is a teacher, strict but compassionate, hiding truth so that you can grow strong enough to hold it. And when it lifts, you do not become someone new. You return to the self that was waiting all along. The journey ends where it began, in remembrance. And remembrance is freedom. Chapter 9. The power of vibration. Everything around you hums with unseen music. Stones, rivers, stars, and your own breath. They all vibrate at frequencies that shape reality. You may not hear this cosmic symphony with your ears, but your soul feels it. The power of vibration is the root of attraction, the hidden magnetism that pulls experiences toward you. What you carry within becomes the song the universe echoes back. When you are heavy with fear, your vibration sinks, drawing more shadows into your path. When you embody joy or gratitude, your frequency rises and life responds with harmony. This is why prayers spoken without alignment fall empty, while silent presence radiating love moves mountains. The universe does not respond to words, it responds to resonance. The true language of creation is vibration. The ancients understood this truth and built entire temples around sound. Chants, drums, and sacred tones were not for worship alone. They were tools to align vibration with higher realms. A single syllable, repeated with devotion, could shift consciousness and open hidden gates. Even now you feel how music changes your state. This is no accident. It is vibration reshaping your field. Imagine your body as an instrument. Every thought is a note, every emotion a chord, every intention a melody. If you play unconsciously, the song becomes discord. But when you tune yourself with awareness, your life resonates like a sacred hymn. Others hear it, even without words, and are moved by it. This is the quiet power of an awakened vibration. Vibration does not lie. You cannot pretend love while carrying resentment, nor fake abundance while vibrating lack. The universe feels your true tone, not the mask you present. This is why transformation begins not with effort, but with inner tuning. Shift your vibration, and your reality shifts without force. Become the resonance, and the world must reflect it. Pause now and bring awareness to your chest. Imagine a soft golden hum radiating from your heart, pulsing outward in waves. With each breath, that hum grows stronger, dissolving heaviness and amplifying light. You are not merely visualizing, you are recalibrating. The body follows the vibration you choose, and the field responds to the signal you send. There is a saying hidden in forbidden teachings: Do not chase what you desire. Become the vibration of it, and it will arrive uninvited. To live this truth is to stop asking, stop pleading, and begin embodying. You want peace? Vibrate peace. You want abundance? Vibrate abundance. The universe cannot resist resonance. It must align with it. Think of the times you met someone and instantly felt drawn to them, or the places that made you feel alive as soon as you entered. This was not coincidence, it was resonance. Frequencies finding each other, harmonizing, dancing, and the same law works with opportunities, health, and destiny. What is meant for you vibrates with you, waiting for recognition. The power of vibration is the key to every doorway. You are not attracting with thoughts alone. You are broadcasting with your entire being. When you tune yourself, reality becomes an orchestra playing to your rhythm. Remember, no prayer, no ritual, no vision is complete without resonance. For vibration is not just part of the universe, it is the universe itself singing through you. Chapter 10. The Mystery of Symbols. From the beginning of civilization, humanity has carved, painted, and dreamed in symbols. A circle was never just a circle, nor a serpent merely a serpent. These forms carried keys that bypassed the mind and spoke directly to the soul. The mystery of symbols is that they are not inventions. They are discoveries, fragments of a universal code woven into existence itself. You have seen symbols in dreams that stayed with you long after waking. You may not have understood them, yet they stirred something ancient inside. This is because symbols do not ask for logic, they awaken memory. A cross, a spiral, a star, all are reminders from a hidden architecture. To look upon them with awareness is to step into the language of the unconscious. Ancient initiates were trained to guard these truths, for symbols were portals. To the unready, they seemed meaningless. But to the awakened, each symbol was alive, vibrating with power, carrying maps of inner and outer worlds. Myths, rituals, and sacred geometry were not decoration, they were transmissions. Even today, these patterns appear around you, calling you back to remembrance. Imagine entering a forgotten temple where the walls are carved with strange forms. To the tourist, they are art. To the seeker, they are instructions. A triangle pointing upward whispers of fire, aspiration, ascension. The same triangle inverted speaks of water, descent, inner reflection. The meaning shifts with the gaze, yet always reveals deeper layers. This is the mystery symbols hold, infinite doors in a single shape. The mind often rebels, demanding clear explanation. But symbols speak where words fail. A story, a myth, a number. These are not meant to be solved like riddles, but felt as keys. When you feel their resonance, you are not learning something new, you are remembering something timeless. That is why symbols appear in dreams. The subconscious knows their tongue, even when the conscious mind resists. Close your eyes and picture the spiral. Notice how it expands endlessly outward, yet always returns to the center. This single image carries entire teachings: growth, cycles, eternity, return to source. A simple shape, yet vast in meaning. Such is the power of symbols. They condense infinite truths into a single glimpse, awakening the soul without a single word. Throughout history, rulers and mystics alike guarded symbols because they knew their influence. Banners, seals, and sacred marks carried power far beyond design. They entered the subconscious of entire nations, shaping destiny quietly. Even today, symbols surround you, in logos, signs, and stories, casting spells you may not realize. To awaken is to reclaim your sight and read them with awareness. There is freedom in learning to speak this language again. Begin with the symbols that call you most, the ones that appear repeatedly in your life. Do not dismiss them as coincidence. Study their form, feel their resonance, listen to the stirrings they evoke. Each one is a mirror reflecting your inner journey. Each one is a map leading you home. The mystery of symbols is not meant to be solved, but lived. They are living bridges between the seen and unseen, reminders of the field in which all is connected. When you honor them, they awaken you. When you embody them, they transform you. Remember this: every symbol you encounter is the universe whispering to you in its oldest, most sacred tongue. Chapter 11. The Shadow of Desire. Desire is the spark that ignites creation, yet it is also the chain that enslaves the unaware. To long for something without understanding is to step into shadow. The more you chase, the more it flees. The more you crave, the further it drifts. This is the paradox hidden in the law of manifestation. Desire fuels creation only when purified of lack. Think of fire in a hearth. Controlled, it warms the home and gives light. Uncontrolled, it burns everything to ash. So it is with desire. When guided by wholeness, it becomes sacred intention, birthing miracles. When driven by emptiness, it devours peace and leaves you in hunger. The shadow of desire is not the wanting itself. It is the illusion of incompleteness behind it. You have been taught to chase more wealth, more recognition, more love. But each pursuit born from scarcity pulls you further from fulfillment. The forbidden teaching reveals manifestation is not begging for what you lack. It is embodying what you already are. True desire is not frantic reaching. It is the natural expansion of a soul in harmony with Source. Observe your own life. How many times have you received what you thought would complete you, only to feel the hunger return? This cycle exposes the shadow. Desire without awareness can never be satisfied. Like drinking salt water, it intensifies thirst. Only when desire transforms into expression of your wholeness does the cycle end. Then creation flows without struggle. The ancients warned seekers with parables. They told of kings who gained kingdoms yet felt empty, of wanderers who found treasures but wept in loneliness. Their lesson was clear. Unpurified desire corrupts even abundance. The true path is not to destroy desire, but to refine it until it burns with the light of soul rather than the smoke of ego. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what do I seek and why? Trace the root of your desire. If it comes from fear, it binds you. If it comes from remembering your essence, it liberates you. This questioning is the alchemy that transforms shadow into light. For when you see clearly, the false cravings dissolve, and only pure intention remains. Imagine standing in a vast desert. You are thirsty, yet instead of chasing mirages, you close your eyes and feel water rising from within. That water is wholeness, the truth that you already contain what you seek. From this fullness, when you desire, the world answers. You do not chase the mirage, the oasis comes to you. This is the power of purified desire. The shadow dissolves when you shift from I need to I am. You no longer grasp at love, you radiate it. You do not beg for abundance, you embody it. You cease to plead for guidance, you walk as guidance itself. The teaching is clear. It is not your longing that creates, it is your vibration of completeness that attracts. The shadow of desire has ruled humanity for ages, but you are awakening beyond it. You were never meant to chase endlessly. You were meant to remember your wholeness and let creation flow from that state. Desire then becomes holy, no longer a prison, but a song of expansion. And when you live from fullness, the universe sings with you. Chapter 12. The Hidden Law of Exchange. Nothing in existence is without balance. Every breath you take is answered by an exhale. Every seed planted requires the soil's giving, and every gift received asks for response. The hidden law of exchange reveals that life is a constant flow of giving and receiving. When the flow is honored, abundance multiplies. When it is broken, stagnation arrives. and energy finds ways to rebalance, often through loss. Many seek to take without offering, hoping the universe will overlook imbalance. Yet what is stolen, hoarded, or demanded without reciprocity eventually fades. The law cannot be tricked. Just as a heart must beat in rhythm to sustain life, so must your actions honor the rhythm of exchange. To violate it is to suffocate your own flow. Imagine a stream that gives water freely to all who come. If no rain replenishes it, soon it runs dry. But if the cycle continues, clouds forming, rain falling, river flowing, life thrives along its banks. You are such a stream. When you give with awareness and receive with gratitude, you remain connected to the eternal source. Break the cycle, and your spirit withers. The ancients taught that offerings were never about appeasing gods, but about aligning with the law. To give bread, song, or prayer was to keep the current alive. They knew that nothing is free. Energy always moves in spirals of return. What you release does not vanish. It circles back, magnified, bearing the essence of your intention. There is danger in giving with calculation. If you offer only to gain, the exchange is corrupted. The universe responds not to the act, but to the vibration beneath it. A hand that gives with greed carries emptiness. A hand that gives with love overflows. The hidden law teaches that purity of intent is what sustains the cycle, not the measure of the gift. Reflect on your own life. Where have you blocked the flow by clinging too tightly? Where have you drained yourself by giving without alignment? Balance is not sacrifice nor selfishness, it is rhythm. To give what diminishes you breeds resentment. To receive without gratitude breeds lack. The middle path is sacred exchange, where both giver and receiver are uplifted. Close your eyes and picture energy as light moving between you and the world. When you give with openness, the light leaves you and instantly returns through another channel. When you refuse to give or receive, the light dims, trapped by fear. Whisper within, I honor the flow. Feel how the current brightens as you allow it to move freely again. The hidden law of exchange is not punishment, it is invitation. It reminds you that you are never separate from the field. Every action, every word, every thought participates in the great circulation of energy. When you align with this rhythm, life becomes generous, for you no longer hoard or fear. You trust the endless river of return. Understand this truth. Nothing is ever truly lost. What you release with love will find its way back in form you may not expect. What you grasp with fear will slip through your hands. To live by the hidden law of exchange is to stand in trust, knowing the universe itself is the eternal giver, and your only task is to keep the current alive. Chapter 13. The Guardians of Knowledge. Throughout history, wisdom has never been left unprotected. The most sacred truths were hidden behind layers of story, ritual, and symbol, entrusted only to those who sought them with purity. These guardians of knowledge were not jailers, but protectors, ensuring that power was not misused. For truth in unready hands destroys more than it liberates. To approach such knowledge was to pass through trials of humility. You may wonder why the universe would conceal what belongs to all. Yet the answer lies in the weight of responsibility. A child cannot wield fire without danger, and many are still children in spirit. The guardians knew this. They wove myths, parables, and codes so that only the sincere heart could pierce the veil. Knowledge was never denied. It was earned through readiness. Think of the ancient libraries burned, the temples buried, the scrolls lost to time. Though it seems tragedy, much of it was preservation. The wisdom was not destroyed. It was hidden in safer realms, dreams, symbols, bloodlines of memory. knowledge has not vanished. It waits like a seed beneath the soil, sprouting only when the seeker arrives. The guardians took many forms. Some were mystics in robes, others were poets speaking in riddles, some were even ordinary people whose silence carried truth. They did not seek recognition, they sought preservation. Their loyalty was not to kingdoms or religions, but to the eternal flame of wisdom itself. And that flame, though often dimmed, has never been extinguished. Consider your own journey. How many times have you stumbled upon a phrase, a book, or a vision that seemed written just for you? That is no accident. It is guidance from the guardians. They reveal fragments only when you are ready to carry them. And each fragment tests you. Will you use it for ego or for awakening? Your response determines the next unveiling. Imagine a doorway carved of stone, guarded not by soldiers but by silence. No key opens it, no force breaks it. The only way through is alignment, heart clear, mind disciplined, spirit humble. Then and only then, the door opens on its own. This is how the guardians operate. They do not forbid, they filter. They ensure wisdom reaches only those who can honor it. The forbidden teaching reminds us that the guardians are still here, not always in human form, but in synchronicities, dreams, and chance encounters. They walk beside you unseen, guiding without interference, nudging without command. They are keepers of timing, ensuring that revelation never arrives too early nor too late, always precise, always in rhythm with your soul. Pause for a moment and whisper to yourself, I am ready for what serves truth. Such a declaration is heard, for the guardians listen not to lips but to vibration. If sincerity fills you, the next step appears, an insight, a teacher, a symbol glowing with new meaning. But if fear or greed drives you, the veil thickens again. The guardians protect by silence as much as by revelation. The guardians of knowledge are not separate from you. They are echoes of your own higher self, stationed at the gates until you remember who you are. To recognize them is to recognize the part of you that is eternal and wise. And when you pass their test, you discover the greatest secret of all. The guardian was always you, waiting at the threshold of remembrance. Chapter 14. The Forgotten Temple Within. For centuries, seekers crossed deserts and oceans to find holy temples, believing divinity dwelled only in stone sanctuaries. Yet the greatest temple was never built by human hands. It was carried within your very being. The forgotten temple is not marked on any map, for its gates are your heart, its altar your soul, its chambers your inner silence. To remember it is to awaken to your own sacredness. Your body itself is the architecture of mystery. Every breath is incense rising, every heartbeat a drum echoing eternity. Yet most treat this temple carelessly, filling it with noise, neglect, and self-denial. The ancients taught that when the inner temple is dishonored, power fades, but when honored, divinity awakens. This is why true pilgrimage is inward, not outward. Think of the great cathedrals and pyramids. They were not copies of heaven, but reflections of what already exists within you. The arches mirror your ribs, the spires your spine, the sanctum your heart. You are the living sanctuary, a bridge between earth and sky. Forgetting this, humanity bows to stone while ignoring the temple that breathes within them. The forgotten temple does not ask for rituals of complexity. Its requirement is presence. When you sit in stillness and honor your breath, you are already at the altar. When you speak with truth, the bells of the temple ring. When you act with love, the sacred fire is lit. You are never separate from holiness. It pulses in your veins. Many wander, believing they must earn the right to approach the divine. But you were born as its vessel. The Forgotten Temple teaches that you do not need to climb mountains or chant endlessly to be worthy. You need only to remember. Worthiness is not given. It is realized. The veil of unworthiness is the only barrier, and once lifted, the temple doors open wide. Close your eyes and step inward. Imagine entering a vast hall glowing with golden light. Pillars rise like beams of energy, and the air hums with ancient chants. This vision is not imagination. It is memory. Your soul recognizes it, because it dwells within you always. When you honor it, the temple comes alive, feeding you strength, clarity, and peace. The Forgotten Temple also carries responsibility. To pollute it with hatred, despair, or neglect is to dim your own light. To cleanse it with gratitude, compassion, and silence is to restore its glory. Each choice you make is an offering. Every thought is incense, every word a prayer. What you bring into the temple shapes the energy you release into the world. Mystics guarded this truth because power flows through the temple of one who remembers. Such a person radiates presence, heals without effort, and carries authority beyond words. They become living sanctuaries, guiding others not by sermons, but by vibration. This is the destiny awaiting every soul who dares to look within and bow at their own altar. The Forgotten Temple within you has never closed. It waits, patient and eternal, for your return. You need not knock, for you are already inside. Remember this. When you honor your body, mind, and spirit as sacred, you step into the holiest of sanctuaries, and there in the stillness, you meet eternity, not as a distant God, but as your own luminous self. Chapter 15. The Power of Attention. Attention is the hidden currency of creation. Wherever you place it, energy gathers, and what is fed with energy grows. Most people scatter it on distractions, unaware they are watering weeds instead of gardens. Yet the wise know, attention is destiny. To master it is to wield the greatest power available to a human being, the ability to shape reality by choice. Think of sunlight magnified through a lens. When spread wide, it warms gently. When focused, it burns through stone. Your attention is the same. Scattered across countless worries, it weakens. Focused on a single vision, it carves new timelines. The universe bends to the intensity of your gaze, for attention is the signal that tells creation what to amplify. Observe your own life, and you will see this law at work. What you constantly fear grows larger. What you consistently love multiplies. What you ignore withers. The field does not judge what you focus on. It simply expands it. This is why the untrained mind becomes its own prison, while the disciplined mind becomes its own liberation. Ancient initiates were trained to hold attention as a sacred discipline. They sat in silence, visualizing symbols until the image burned bright within. They knew that mastery over attention unlocked mastery over reality. For where attention rests, intention follows, and where intention lingers, creation blooms. This is the path of deliberate living. The danger is in giving your attention away cheaply. Each complaint, each envy, each fixation on what you dislike is an offering of energy. And life, impartial as it is, multiplies what you feed. To give attention unconsciously is to plant seeds of chaos. To withhold attention from what drains you is to reclaim power instantly. Close your eyes now and focus on a single image, a flame at the center of your heart. See it flicker, then strengthen as you hold it steady. Notice how the act of attention alone increases its brightness. This simple exercise is not symbolic. It is real. The field responds to your gaze, and what you attend to grows. The phrase, "pay attention," carries hidden wisdom. You are always paying with the most valuable resource you possess. Unlike time, attention is not measured in hours but in power. To waste it on emptiness is to starve your destiny. To invest it in vision is to create worlds. Attention is the wealth that determines your future. Many complain that manifestation does not work, yet they forget the key: sustained attention. To wish briefly is to whisper into the wind. To hold a vision with unwavering focus is to carve it into the fabric of reality. The universe listens not to fleeting desire, but to repeated alignment. What you attend to consistently becomes inevitable. The power of attention is not distant. It is already in your hands, already in your eyes, already in your mind. To master it is to step into sovereignty. Begin now. Withdraw it from fear, offer it to love, and hold it on the vision of who you choose to be. And watch as reality reshapes itself to match the gaze of your soul. Chapter 16. The Secret of Dreams. When night falls and your body surrenders to rest, another journey begins. Dreams are not illusions of a restless mind. They are gateways into realms beyond waking sight. Each image, each symbol, each strange encounter carries meaning woven from the threads of soul memory. To dismiss them as fantasy is to close half the book of your existence. Dreams are the secret script written in the language of the unconscious. Have you ever awoken with the feeling that a dream carried more truth than the day before it? This is no accident. In dreams, your conscious mind loosens its grip, and hidden knowledge rises like mist from deep waters. Ancients believed dreams were messages from higher realms, guiding initiates toward clarity, prophecy, or healing. To record and reflect upon them is to catch whispers of eternity. Many fear their dreams, believing nightmares to be curses. Yet even the most terrifying visions carry wisdom. Nightmares are mirrors, showing you where fear hides, where shadow lingers, where healing is required. They are not punishments, but warnings, urging you to face what you avoid in waking life. Listen to them, and you find keys disguised as shadows. The ancients used rituals to enter dreams consciously. They practiced lucid dreaming, where the sleeper becomes awake within the dream. In such states, they walked through hidden temples, met guides, and received knowledge untainted by doubt. To master this is to realize that sleep is not an escape from life, but an extension of it, another classroom where soul lessons unfold. Imagine your bed not as a place of forgetfulness, but as a sacred altar. Each night, as you close your eyes, you step into the temple of dreams. What questions you carry shape the journey. Whisper before sleep, "Show me what I must see." With this intention, you call forth guidance, and the dream responds, weaving answers in images your soul understands. The dream world also connects you with those you have loved and lost. Many awaken with tears after seeing a departed soul in sleep. This is not imagination. The barrier is thinner at night, and spirits cross more easily. In dreams, the veil lifts, allowing reunions, conversations, and comfort. Such encounters remind you that death is not an end, only a doorway. Consider how often breakthroughs arise after sleep. A solution to a problem, a sudden inspiration, a creative spark. This is no coincidence. Dreams access a field larger than the waking mind can touch. While you sleep, your consciousness wanders beyond limits, bringing back fragments of wisdom. To ignore them is to leave treasures buried in the sand. Close your eyes now and picture a vast field under starlight. In the distance rise countless doors, each one glowing softly. These are the dreams waiting for you, each door a passage to guidance, healing, or remembering. Tonight, when you surrender to sleep, know that you are not drifting into nothingness. You are stepping into the corridors of hidden truth. The secret of dreams is simple yet profound. They are not random. They are invitations, maps, and mirrors guiding you home. To honor them is to awaken not only at sunrise, but within the night itself. Record them, trust them, live with them as companions. For in dreams, the soul remembers what waking life has made you forget. Chapter 17. The Illusion of Separation. From the moment you were born, the world told you that you are a single being, cut off from everything else. It taught you to see yourself as a body, a name, a story confined within borders. Yet this vision is an illusion. In truth, you are not a fragment. You are a wave in an infinite ocean. Separation is the dream. Unity is the reality waiting beneath it. When you believe you are separate, fear is born. Fear of losing, fear of dying, fear of being alone. Wars are fought, walls are built, and hearts grow cold, all because of this lie. But if you look deeper, you will see how every breath you take is shared with the trees, how every heartbeat depends on the sun, the earth, the stars. You were never apart, you were always part. Think of the cells within your body. Each one acts with its own rhythm, yet together they form you. If a cell forgets its unity, it becomes destructive, harming the whole. Humanity is the same. When people forget they are threads of one vast web, they act in ways that wound themselves and others. But remembering union restores harmony. Mystics and sages across time have declared this truth in countless ways. They spoke of oneness, of cosmic unity, of divine connection. Though their words differed, the essence was the same. All life is one life wearing many faces. To harm another is to harm yourself. To heal another is to rise together. Unity is not philosophy. It is the nature of existence. The illusion of separation is maintained by the ego. The ego whispers, "You are alone. You must protect yourself. You must fight to survive." But this voice is only fear wearing a mask of reason. Beyond it lies the truth. You are supported, interconnected, sustained by the whole. The more you trust this, the more life flows with grace. Pause now and imagine yourself standing at the edge of an ocean. Step into the water and feel the waves washing over you. Notice how impossible it is to draw a line between drop and sea. That is who you are. A drop, yes, but also the sea itself. To live in this awareness is to dissolve the illusion and awaken to your true vastness. The illusion has purpose. Without forgetting unity, you could not experience the journey of remembering. Without feeling separate, you could not discover love, compassion, and belonging. Separation is the stage. Unity is the truth behind the play. Once you realize this, you no longer cling to isolation, for you see it as part of your awakening path. Signs of unity surround you even now. Synchronicities, sudden connections, moments of deep recognition in another's eyes. These are reminders that you are never alone. The universe continually dissolves the illusion, offering glimpses of truth. The more you honor them, the more the veil weakens, until the illusion of separation crumbles entirely. The illusion of separation ends when you awaken to this. You are not a stranger here. The rivers flow through your veins, the stars burn within your soul, and every being you meet is another reflection of yourself. You were never cut off, never abandoned. You are the whole dressed as the part, walking home to unity once again. Chapter 18. The River of Synchronicity. Life does not speak to you with shouts, but with signs. Small alignments, repeating numbers, chance encounters, and perfect timing. These are not accidents. They are the river of synchronicity, carrying you forward. To those asleep, it seems like coincidence. To those awake, it is guidance. The universe is always speaking through the current of events that weave into your path. Have you ever thought of someone only for them to call moments later, or seen a symbol appear again and again until it demanded your attention? These are not random. They are markers on the river. The flow of synchronicity is proof that you are not wandering alone. It whispers, "You are guided. Keep moving. Trust the path unfolding." The ancients understood that signs are the language of destiny. They taught initiates to move with the current instead of against it. To ignore the signs is to fight the flow and repeat lessons until you finally listen. But when you surrender, the river carries you faster, guiding you toward the shores meant for you. Synchronicity is alignment in motion. Imagine yourself floating gently downstream, not rowing, not struggling. Around each bend, a new symbol appears. A bird, a word, a face, a light. Each one leads you deeper into trust. The river does not reveal the entire journey at once. It gives you enough for the next step. And the more you trust, the smoother the waters become. The ego resists this, demanding proof, demanding control. It wants maps, guarantees, and certainty. But the river of synchronicity does not work that way. It asks you to let go of the how and allow the current to reveal the where. This is why the awakened do not chase. They flow. They do not beg. They align. They live as swimmers carried by destiny. Pause now and think of the synchronicities that have touched your life. Perhaps a book fell into your hands at the perfect moment, or a stranger spoke words that answered a silent prayer. Reflect on how these moments shaped your path. They were not interruptions. They were confirmations that you were never without guidance. The hidden teaching warns, ignore the river and it grows louder until you cannot dismiss it. Missed synchronicities repeat as patterns, sometimes harshly, until they are seen. What begins as a whisper becomes a storm if you resist. But when you finally pay attention, the signs soften again, and the river flows with grace. Close your eyes and whisper within, "I trust the flow." Imagine yourself stepping into a stream of light, feeling it carry you effortlessly forward. Symbols appear along the way, keys, stars, doors, reminders that the path is alive. With every breath, you surrender more deeply, and the river carries you exactly where you are meant to be. The river of synchronicity is not outside you. It flows through you. Each sign is the universe reflecting your own vibration back in form. When you honor it, you realize you are both the river and the traveler. And with that realization, fear dissolves, for you know, you are never drifting aimlessly. You are being carried home by the current of destiny. Chapter 19. The Hidden Law of Resonance. There is a force beyond sight that binds people, places, and experiences together. This is resonance, the magnetic recognition of like meeting like. It explains why some encounters feel electric, why certain words stir your soul, why specific paths call to you. Resonance is not chance. It is the hidden law shaping attraction, weaving together fragments that carry the same frequency. When your inner world changes, your outer circle shifts. Old friends fade, new ones arrive, opportunities align or dissolve. This is not betrayal, it is resonance revealing truth. What no longer matches your vibration falls away. What harmonizes with your essence draws nearer. Life rearranges itself to echo the tone you carry inside. The ego often believes it can fake this law, pretending joy while vibrating fear, speaking abundance while radiating lack. But resonance cannot be deceived. It feels the truth beneath the mask and responds only to that. This is why some doors remain closed until you shift inward. The universe answers resonance, not performance. Think of a tuning fork struck in silence. Another fork of the same pitch begins to hum without touch. So it is with resonance. Your being is constantly sending vibrations into the field, awakening what matches you. This is why some souls feel instantly familiar and why certain dreams or places stir a deep remembering. It is not new, it is recognition. The hidden also explains why resistance arises. When you cling to what no longer matches your frequency, dissonance grows. Life becomes uncomfortable, forcing you to release what is out of tune. Though painful, this is mercy. The discord guides you toward alignment, urging you to let go so harmony can return. Pause for a moment and feel into your own resonance. What emotions dominate your days? What beliefs hum beneath your words? These frequencies call forth your reality more loudly than your desires. Whisper to yourself, I shift my resonance to truth. As you do, notice how the body softens, for the soul knows it is heard. Mystics taught that resonance is the true measure of prayer. Words spoken without matching frequency are hollow. But when your being resonates with the prayer, creation responds instantly. This is why gratitude multiplies blessings. It aligns vibration. This is why fear attracts more fear. It resonates with itself until faced and dissolved. Imagine standing in a vast hall of mirrors. Each mirror reflects not your face but your resonance. Some shine with light, others show shadows, some ripple with possibility. The hall does not judge, it reflects. To change the reflection, you do not smash the mirrors, you shift your tone. This is the secret to transforming reality. The hidden law of resonance whispers this truth. You do not chase what is yours, you become it. Embody the vibration, and the universe cannot help but respond. Walk as the tone you wish to live. Radiate it, and it will echo back in forms beyond your imagination. For resonance is the silent song shaping the story of your life. Chapter 20. The Fire of Transformation. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the old must burn away. Transformation is not gentle, it is fire. It sears illusions, strips masks, and consumes what no longer serves. The flames may feel cruel, but they are not punishment. They are purification, preparing you for a life beyond the limits you once clung to. When loss strikes, when dreams collapse, when certainty crumbles, you are standing in the fire. The ego screams to escape, but the soul knows this is initiation. Nothing essential is ever destroyed. Only the false, the temporary, the fragile layers. What remains is raw, unshakable truth. You rise from ashes not broken, but reborn. The ancients called this trial the dark night, the crucible, the passage of fire. Those who endured came out radiant, carrying wisdom etched into their being. They learned that suffering was not a curse but a teacher. The flames stripped away illusions, leaving only what could not be burned, and what cannot be burned is eternal. Think of gold refined in heat. Impurities melt away, leaving brilliance untouched. So it is with you. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every ending is the fire refining your essence. You may resist, but resistance prolongs the burning. Surrender, and the fire becomes ally instead of enemy. Through it, your truest self emerges. Transformation demands courage. It asks you to let go of identities you outgrew, to release attachments that chain you, to face shadows you avoided. Yet within the blaze is hidden strength. Once you step through, you discover power you never knew you carried. The fire does not diminish you, it reveals you. Pause and recall a moment that scorched you deeply. Though painful, did it not shape who you are now? Did it not awaken compassion, clarity, or resilience? This is the paradox. The very trials that seem to undo you are the ones that prepare you. The fire leaves scars, yes, but those scars shine as symbols of rebirth. Mystics taught that no great awakening arrives without fire. To be initiated is to be burned. To be burned is to be cleansed. They did not fear the flames, for they understood the promise hidden in them. New life, new strength, new vision. The fire is never the end. It is always the threshold. Imagine standing in a circle of flame, your old self dissolving into smoke. Instead of fleeing, You breathe deeply and step forward. The fire does not consume you, it frees you. On the other side, you feel lighter, clearer, luminous. This vision is not fantasy. It is the truth of transformation unfolding in your life. The fire of transformation teaches this eternal truth. Endings are beginnings in disguise. What you lose is not stolen, but exchanged for what is greater. The burning you endure is not destruction, but awakening. And when you walk through fire with trust, you emerge untouchable, shining with the brilliance of the soul that cannot be destroyed. Chapter 21. The Forgotten Power of Breath. The very first act of your life was an inhale, and the last will be an exhale. Between these two moments lies your entire journey carried by breath, yet most move through their days unconscious of this sacred rhythm, treating it as background rather than power. The forgotten teaching is that breath is not merely survival, it is the bridge between body and spirit, earth and eternity. Notice how breath changes your state. Shallow breathing feeds anxiety, while slow, deep breaths calm storms within. Each inhale draws in life force, each exhale releases what no longer belongs. This is not metaphor, it is truth. Your breath is the steering wheel of your inner world, guiding you into fear or peace, clarity or confusion. Awareness transforms it into a tool of awakening. Ancient mystics discovered that breath was the key to higher states of consciousness. They crafted rhythms, chants, and patterns to open inner gates. With breath, they slowed time, traveled within visions, and aligned with unseen realms. They knew the secret modern minds have forgotten. To command your breath is to command your state of being. Imagine a warrior before battle, standing in silence. Instead of panicking, he steadies his breath, drawing strength into his lungs. Each exhale anchors him in presence. Each inhale fills him with power. He enters the fight not frantic, but unshakable. This same discipline belongs to you. Breath is not weakness, it is mastery waiting in your chest. Pause now and feel the air entering your body. Notice the coolness as it flows in, the warmth as it leaves. With each cycle, imagine light entering, cleansing, and renewing you. This is more than visualization. With awareness, breath becomes medicine, dissolving tension and restoring balance to every cell. You are not powerless. You are breathing creation itself. The forgotten power of breath also opens the door to spirit. Many who meditate or pray deeply speak of feeling expanded, luminous, infinite. This is not imagination. It is the soul responding to breath's rhythm. As you deepen it, you create space for guidance to enter, for visions to rise, for silence to reveal its wisdom. Breath is the doorway to the unseen. Consider how often you hold your breath in fear, in anger, in grief. These pauses reveal where energy is trapped. To release the breath is to release the weight. The ancients taught that exhaling fully was as important as inhaling deeply, for only by letting go could you make room for renewal. Breath teaches the art of surrender as much as strength. Envision now a golden stream of air flowing through you. With every inhale, it fills your chest with radiance. With every exhale, it sends waves of light through the world around you. This is not fantasy, but resonance. The field responds to your breathing, tuning itself to your rhythm. Breath is the subtle but mighty power that aligns you with the universe. The forgotten power of breath whispers this truth. You are never cut off from source. As long as you breathe, you are connected. Use it with awareness, and it becomes your key to calm, your shield in storm, your ladder to higher realms. Let each inhale remind you of life's gift, and each exhale remind you of your power to release. In breath, you find your sovereignty. Chapter 22. The magnetic field of the heart. Within your chest beats more than a muscle of flesh. It is a radiant center, pulsing waves of energy stronger than even the mind. Science now confirms what mystics always knew. The heart creates a magnetic field that expands beyond your body, influencing everything around you. To awaken to this truth is to realize that love is not sentiment. It is frequency, power, and creation itself. Most people live as if the brain is master, yet the brain only interprets what the heart already knows. The heart perceives truth instantly, without analysis. It feels resonance before logic can explain it. This is why you sense trust or danger in someone long before words are spoken. Your heart is the throne of wisdom, the silent compass of your soul. When the heart is closed, its field weakens, and life feels dull, disconnected, heavy. No amount of thinking can substitute the power lost. But when the heart is open, its field expands, magnetizing harmony, opportunities, and healing. The world responds differently because the frequency you radiate changes. The secret is simple. Open your heart, and reality opens with it. The ancients honored the heart as the true altar within the temple of the body. They placed hands over it in prayer, knowing that intention carried from the heart reshaped worlds. They taught that to speak from the mind alone was empty, but to speak from the heart was spellcraft. Every blessing, every chant, every vow held power only when it burned in the heart. Reflect now on moments when your heart was wide open, perhaps in love, in awe of beauty, or in compassion for another. Notice how time dissolved, how everything felt vivid, how your being radiated peace. That was not emotion alone. It was your heart's field flooding the space around you, shifting reality without effort. The power was always yours. Close your eyes and place your hand gently on your chest. Feel the rhythm of your heartbeat, steady and eternal. Imagine waves of golden light pulsing outward with each beat, rippling through the room, through the world. This is no mere vision, it is truth. Your heart is broadcasting now, and the field is listening. The magnetic field of the heart is also the key to manifestation. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you vibrate. To think abundance without feeling it in the heart is empty. But to embody abundance as a frequency of gratitude and joy pulls it to you effortlessly. The heart does not ask, it becomes, and becoming draws all else. Mystics said, guard your heart, not from love, but from distortion. For when the heart hardens with bitterness or fear, its power is trapped. To cleanse it is to return to sovereignty. Forgiveness, compassion, and gratitude are not moral duties. They are technologies that restore the field of the heart to its radiant state. The magnetic field of the heart is your throne of creation. More powerful than thought, more ancient than words. It is the pulse of the universe within you. To honor it is to awaken your true power. To live through it is to walk as a beacon of harmony. And when your heart radiates freely, you discover the secret long hidden. Love is the frequency that shapes worlds. Chapter 23. The shadow of fear. Fear is the greatest illusion the mind has ever created. It convinces you of danger where none exists, chains you to limitations that dissolve the moment you face them. The shadow of fear feeds on your belief, growing stronger the more attention you give it. Yet when you step into its depths, you discover it is hollow. Fear is a phantom, and its only power is the permission you grant. From childhood, fear was planted in you, fear of failure, rejection, loss, even of your own greatness. These shadows shaped your choices, keeping you small, keeping you safe but unfulfilled. The forbidden teaching insists, fear is not real substance. It is mist, dispersing the moment you walk through it. The only prison it builds is the one you accept as real. Think of the times fear held you back. Perhaps you delayed speaking truth, avoided opportunity, or shrank in love. Each moment of surrender to fear dimmed your light. Yet recall also the times you defied it. Did you not feel expansion, strength, liberation? The contrast shows the truth. Fear dissolves in action, and freedom is born on the other side of courage. Mystics described fear as a guardian of thresholds. Before every initiation, fear rises like a shadow at the gate. Its purpose is not to destroy you, but to test you. It asks, are you ready to step through? If you turn away, the lesson repeats. If you move forward, the shadow vanishes, and the path opens wide. The body reveals fear in trembling, shallow breath, tightened chest. These are not signs of weakness, but signals of transformation waiting. To breathe deeply through fear is to reclaim power from the body's illusions. You are not the trembling, you are the presence witnessing it, and the witness cannot be broken. Pause and visualize standing before a dark doorway. Fear whispers that danger lies within. But as you step closer, the shadows scatter, revealing only light beyond. This is the nature of fear. It guards the treasures you seek. Every gift you long for is hidden just behind what frightens you most. The shadow is always a disguise. The more you resist fear, the louder it becomes. Avoidance feeds it. Denial empowers it. Yet to sit with fear, to face it with awareness, is to starve it of strength. Whisper to yourself, I see you, but you are not me. And notice how the shadow weakens, for fear cannot survive recognition. The ancients trained their minds to welcome fear as a teacher. They walked into caves, stood at cliffs, faced storms, not to prove strength, but to dissolve illusion. They knew fear's secret gift. Beyond it lies sovereignty. For when fear no longer commands you, nothing in this world can enslave you again. The shadow of fear teaches a profound truth. You were never fragile. You were never alone. The phantom you dreaded was only your own unclaimed power. Step into it, and you step into freedom. On the other side of fear, you discover not an enemy, but a doorway, to truth, to strength, to your limitless self. Chapter 24, The Code of Numbers. Numbers are far more than tools for counting. They are the bones of the universe, the secret language through which creation orders itself. Every pattern in nature, every spiral in galaxies, every rhythm of life follows numerical harmony. The ancients understood this truth and guarded it in temples, scriptures, and sacred geometry. To study numbers is to glimpse the mind of the divine. Consider the number 1. It speaks of unity, the source from which all else emerges. 2 reveals polarity, the dance of opposites that creates motion. 3 carries balance and birth, the triangle that stabilizes creation. Each number is not a symbol of quantity, but a living archetype, an energy that shapes the world. To engage with numbers is to converse with creation itself. Have you noticed how certain numbers repeat in your life? Perhaps 1111 glowing on clocks, or sacred dates returning in cycles. These are not coincidences. They are codes, signals from the field aligning your path. The universe speaks through these echoes, reminding you that your journey is woven into patterns far greater than chance. Numbers are signposts of destiny. The Pythagoreans and mystics of old mapped entire philosophies upon numbers. To them, mathematics was not cold calculation, but sacred revelation. They taught that every sound, color, and form carried numerical frequency. To sing a note, to build a temple, to draw a circle, all were acts of aligning with the eternal code. The universe itself is music written in numbers. Pause and think of the Fibonacci spiral, repeating in shells, storms, and galaxies. That spiral is a number expressed in form, showing that life is built upon recurring sequences. Even your body carries these codes, from the ratios of your face to the rhythm of your heartbeat. You are a living equation of light and form, guided by numerical harmony. Numbers also hold the mystery of time. Calendars, cycles, and seasons reveal hidden mathematics governing existence. The ancients used these patterns not just to measure days, but to predict consciousness itself. They knew that when numbers aligned, gateways opened, moments of destiny where choice carried amplified power. These codes still shape your path if you learn to see them. Imagine now a great book of numbers, infinite pages filled with patterns and sequences. Each number pulses with light. Each equation vibrates with truth. As you turn the pages, you realize the book is not outside you, it is you. Your soul is written in the code, and life is its unfolding equation. To read it is to remember yourself. Whisper within, I am aligned with the code. As you say this, feel how numbers no longer appear random but purposeful. Each repetition, each sequence, is a whisper from the universe guiding you forward. You're not lost in chaos. You're held in symmetry, carried by the eternal order of the code. The code of numbers is a map of existence. To ignore it is to miss the patterns that guide your destiny. To honor it is to awaken to harmony woven into everything. Remember this, numbers are not mere inventions, they are discoveries. They are the sacred script beneath reality, the eternal mathematics of the soul. Chapter 25. The Great Web of Consciousness. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every feeling you carry ripples outward into the unseen. You may believe your mind is private, contained within your body, but in truth, it is a thread woven into a vast tapestry. This is the great web of consciousness, the invisible network that binds all souls. To awaken is to realize you are never isolated. You are part of a living field. Imagine a spider's web shimmering in morning light. A single touch on one strand sends vibrations across the entire structure. So it is with human thought and emotion. Your joy uplifts others in unseen ways. Your despair pulls upon the threads of the whole. You are constantly giving to the web, and the web constantly returns to you. Nothing is ever separate. The ancients taught that to harm yourself is to dim the web, and to heal yourself is to strengthen it. This is why acts of love ripple far beyond the moment. A kindness offered today may echo through countless lives tomorrow. The field records every vibration, storing it in memory, releasing it in cycles. You are both the sender and the receiver in this eternal exchange. Modern minds think of consciousness as locked inside the brain, but this is a narrow vision. The brain is not the source, it is the receiver. Like a radio tuning to frequency, your mind aligns with the larger field. This explains why inspiration arrives suddenly, why you sense another's emotion without words, why entire cultures awaken in waves. Consciousness is collective. Pause and recall a time when the mood of a room shifted simply because one person entered. Perhaps their laughter lifted everyone, or their heaviness dragged the space into silence. That was the web in motion. Fields connect and merge constantly, creating atmospheres you can feel even if unseen. To become aware of this is to reclaim responsibility for what you bring into the field. Mystics trained to align their vibration not only for themselves, but for the whole. They understood that enlightenment is not personal achievement, but service to the web. Each awakened being strengthens the field, making it easier for others to awaken. In this way, one spark becomes a flame, and one flame becomes a dawn. Consciousness evolves as one body. Imagine now your thoughts as threads of light extending outward, weaving into an endless net. With each intention, the web shimmers. With each prayer, the net glows brighter. With each act of love, the strands grow stronger. You are not not weaving alone. Millions of souls contribute at once, building the luminous architecture of collective destiny. The danger lies in forgetting this truth. When you believe you are separate, you pollute the web with fear, anger, and despair. But when you remember your connection, you choose carefully what you release. Whisper now, "What I send into the web, I also receive." Feel how the phrase awakens responsibility and power within you. The great web of consciousness holds all stories, all lives, all dreams. It is the memory of creation and the promise of unity. You are a strand in this eternal fabric, and your vibration matters. To live with awareness is to honor the web. To live with love is to strengthen it. And in strengthening it, you strengthen the whole of existence. Chapter 26. The Power of Ritual. Ritual has always been more than routine. It is the art of turning the invisible into the visible, of shaping intention into form. Every gesture, every word, every symbol in ritual anchors energy into reality. To dismiss it as superstition is to forget its true essence. Ritual is alignment. When done with presence, it opens portals. When done without it, it is only empty motion. From the beginning, humanity crafted rituals to mark thresholds: birth, death, union, harvest. These were not mere traditions, they were keys to harmonize with the greater order. The fire, the circle, the chant were bridges between seen and unseen. Through them, people remembered that life itself is sacred. Ritual reminded them of their place in the great dance. Consider your daily actions. Drinking water, lighting a candle, speaking to a loved one, all can be ritual if done with awareness. What transforms them is not complexity, but intention. The ancients knew this. Presence sanctifies. A simple bow, a whispered prayer, a pause in silence, all become doorways when infused with reverence. The danger comes when ritual is hollow, words repeated without heart, actions performed without meaning. These lose their power. The universe does not respond to the shell, but to the essence. True ritual begins within. It is not the candle itself, but the flame you carry while lighting it. It is not the chant itself, but the vibration you release through it. Pause now and envision lighting a lantern in the dark. As the flame rises, feel yourself offering your attention, your presence, your soul. This single act becomes ritual because it embodies intention. You have not only lit a lantern, you have illuminated the field. Ritual teaches that what you do outwardly is a reflection of what you align inwardly. Mystics used ritual to reprogram the subconscious. They repeated movements and phrases not to control the outer world, but to carve patterns in the inner one. Each repetition deepened the impression until the mind obeyed with ease. Ritual is not about forcing reality. It is about aligning your vibration until reality harmonizes. Imagine a circle drawn in the sand. You step into it, and within its boundary, you declare your intention. The moment you cross that line, your being shifts, because the act has been marked with sacredness. This is the essence of ritual, creating a container where energy is amplified, where focus sharpens, where transformation ignites. Even nature lives by ritual. The rising and setting of the sun, the cycles of the moon, the turning of seasons, all are rituals of the cosmos. To align with them is to step into the rhythm of creation. This is why ceremonies tied to lunar phases or solstices hold such power. They mirror the larger rituals already written into the sky. The power of ritual lies not in grandness, but in sincerity. To sip water with gratitude can shift your vibration more deeply than 1,000 empty words. Every act of presence can be ritual, every breath an offering. When you live this way, life itself becomes sacred ceremony. And in that state, you no longer seek the divine, you embody embody it. Chapter 27. The Silence of the Stars. Above you, night after night, the stars keep their ancient vigil. They burn with light older than memory, crossing unimaginable distances to reach your eyes. Yet they speak not in words but in silence. This silence is not emptiness. It is wisdom carried across eternity. To gaze upon the stars is to feel the pulse of the infinite, a reminder that you too are born of their fire. The stars do not hurry, nor do they complain of darkness. They shine steadily, enduring cycles of birth and collapse. In their stillness lies a teaching. Strength is quiet, presence is eternal. Their silence reminds you that truth requires no argument, no defense. It radiates like starlight, unwavering, unshaken, beyond the noise of passing storms. Mystics have long looked upward, not for escape, but for remembrance. They knew the stars are not distant strangers, but luminous kin. The atoms within your body were forged in stellar furnaces. You are not merely gazing at them, you are recognizing your origin. Their silence calls you back to the truth that you are cosmic, not only earthly. Imagine standing in a desert beneath a sky strewn with countless lights. No sound, only vast stillness. As you breathe, you feel each star linked to you, as if threads of silver connect your heart to the heavens. This vision is not fantasy, but reality revealed. The silence of the stars awakens the memory of your eternal belonging. The stars also mark time, guiding sailors, farmers, and seekers for ages. Yet beyond their patterns lies something deeper. Their constellations are maps not only of space, but of consciousness. Myths encoded in their shapes remind us that every story of gods and heroes is also a story of the soul. In their silence, these stories still live. Pause and allow yourself to listen beyond sound. The silence is alive, humming with frequencies beyond the ear. Within it are answers you cannot hear but can feel: reassurance, direction, remembrance. To commune with the stars is not to seek knowledge, but to allow knowing. The silence is itself the teaching. The ego may demand words, proof, or explanation, but the stars offer none. They need not justify their existence. They simply shine, and in doing so, they awaken. The lesson is clear. Your presence, when true, speaks louder than any explanation. You are meant to radiate, not convince. Close your eyes and imagine the night sky within your chest. Each heartbeat a star, each breath a galaxy. Feel the silence expand inside you, vast and eternal. You are not small in the face of the cosmos. You are its reflection, carrying its light in human form. The silence of the stars is also your silence, waiting to be remembered. The silence of the stars teaches this: truth needs no voice, light needs no permission. You are starlight, walking in flesh, eternity folded into time. When you embrace stillness, you align with the cosmic rhythm. And in that quiet, you hear the loudest message of all: you were never separate from the infinite sky. Chapter 28. The Hidden Purpose of Suffering. Pain enters life like an uninvited guest, and yet it carries secrets no comfort can reveal. Suffering strips away illusions, forcing you to confront what is real. It breaks the masks of certainty, humbles the ego, and cracks the heart so light can enter. Though bitter, it is not meaningless. The hidden purpose of suffering is transformation, the awakening of depth within the soul. Consider how fire tempers steel. Without the heat, the blade remains weak, untested. In the same way, suffering forges strength. It teaches patience when all else fails, compassion when wounds are shared, resilience when despair would rather consume you. These are treasures hidden beneath the ashes of trial. Without suffering, few would search for truth at all. The ego resists this teaching, crying that pain is punishment, cruelty, or abandonment. But the universe does not wound to destroy, it wounds to awaken. Suffering is a mirror, showing where you cling, where you resist, where you have built cages. When you face it, you discover freedom not in escaping pain, but in seeing through it. Pause and think of the times you have grown most. Did wisdom not arise from loss? Did courage not bloom from struggle? Did compassion not deepen from heartbreak? The paradox is clear. Suffering, though despised, is the soil in which awakening grows. To curse it is to miss its gift. To accept it is to unlock its power. Mystics called suffering the sacred wound. They saw in it a doorway, a passage into deeper vision. The wound made the seeker hollow, and in that hollowness, spirit could enter. Without emptiness, there is no space for the divine. This is why every great teacher, every enlightened one, walked through valleys of sorrow before radiating truth. Imagine a cracked vessel filled with light. At first, the cracks seem like flaws, signs of weakness. Yet it is through those very cracks that light shines outward. So it is with you. Your suffering becomes the openings through which your essence radiates. What once felt like ruin becomes revelation, blessing others as well as yourself. The danger lies in clinging to suffering as identity. Some wear their wounds as crowns, believing pain makes them special. But the teaching is not to remain in suffering, it is to pass through it. The wound is a door, not a home. Healing does not erase what happened, but it frees you from becoming chained to it. Close your eyes and breathe into your deepest wound. Instead of resisting, whisper, "Show me your purpose." Notice how the heaviness shifts when met with awareness. This is the alchemy suffering offers, not escape, but transformation. In seeing its purpose, the pain loses power, and its hidden wisdom rises. The hidden purpose of suffering is awakening. It arrives not to crush you, but to break the shell of illusion, revealing the soul beneath. When you embrace its lesson, you no longer see yourself as cursed, you see yourself as chosen. For it is through suffering that you remember strength, compassion, and the unshakable truth of who you are. Chapter 29. The Eternal Law of Cause and Effect. Every action you take sends ripples into the unseen, and those ripples always return. Nothing exists in isolation. Every thought, every word, every choice plants a seed in the field. This is the eternal law of cause and effect, sometimes called karma, sometimes called balance. It is not punishment, not reward, but simply the natural rhythm of the universe keeping harmony. When you sow anger, you meet anger. When you sow love, love finds you. The field does not forget what you release. It reflects it, sometimes instantly, sometimes across years. Life is not random chance, though it may seem so. It is a tapestry woven from threads you yourself have spun. What you live today is born of what you planted yesterday. The ego resists this truth because it removes excuses. It is easier to blame fate or others than to recognize your role. Yet the law is merciful, for it means you are never powerless. By shifting your causes now, you reshape your effects tomorrow. Destiny is not fixed. It is sculpted moment by moment by the choices you make. Ancient schools taught initiates to guard their actions as sacred, for they knew nothing was lost. Every whisper carried weight, every gesture left imprint. They understood that careless deeds would echo back, while deliberate ones would build harmony. The wise moved with awareness, planting only what they were willing to harvest. Such is the discipline of awakened living. Think of the seasons. A farmer cannot sow weeds and expect wheat, nor can one neglect the soil and hope for abundance. So too with the spirit. The seeds of thought and word must be chosen with care, for their harvest is inevitable. To live unconsciously is to reap thorns. To live deliberately is to gather fruit. Pause and reflect on your own life. What recurring patterns have returned to you again and again? They are not accidents. They are harvests. They reveal the causes you once planted, whether knowingly or not. To see this is not to despair, but to awaken. For now, you hold the power to plant anew, to create a different field for tomorrow. The law of cause and effect also reminds you of patience. Not all seeds sprout instantly. Some take years, even lifetimes, to ripen. This is why the universe calls for trust. What seems delayed is not denied. It is simply still growing beneath the soil. To rush the harvest is to uproot the seed before it can bear fruit. Visualize your life as a vast garden. Some plants bear sweet fruit, others bitter, some still sprouting, some ready to bloom. Each one was planted by you, consciously or unconsciously. As you walk among them, you carry new seeds in your hand. With awareness, you choose now what future you will walk into. This is sovereignty through cause. The eternal law of cause and effect is neither cruel nor kind. It is precise. It simply mirrors what you give. And in that precision lies freedom. For you are not at the mercy of fate. You are its author. The moment you align your choices with love, truth, and clarity, your future reshapes. The garden bends to the hand that plants with awareness. Chapter 30. The Key of Imagination. Within the quiet chambers of the mind, imagination builds worlds before they exist. It is not the child's game of idle fantasy, but the architect's blueprint of creation. Every great invention, every leap of discovery, every sacred vision first appeared as an image in thought. The unseen precedes the seen, and imagination is the bridge between the two realms. Think of the prophets and seers who spoke of realities yet unborn. Their words were visions crystallized through imagination, not bound by logic's narrow walls. They dared to see what others could not, and in time, the world bent to their vision. To imagine is to pierce the veil of possibility, drawing into the present a fragment of the eternal. But imagination is not merely a playground for dreams, it is a forge for destiny. When disciplined and focused, it becomes prophecy. The scattered sparks of thought gather into flame, and the mind's image begins to solidify into form. What you imagine with intensity and clarity presses upon the field until it must take shape. Consider how civilizations rose from nothing but visions. The first city, the first ship, the first temple, each existed long before in the imagination of a mind willing to believe. No stone was ever laid until it was first pictured. Every tower that touches the sky is rooted in the unseen soil of imagination. The forbidden teaching whispers that imagination is access to realms beyond reason. Logic measures what already exists. Imagination creates what has not yet been. To neglect it is to live chained within the limits of the present, blind to the infinity beyond. To embrace it is to hold the key to hidden dimensions where truth waits. Imagination, when undisciplined, drifts like smoke and dissolves. But when guided with intention, it becomes the sculptor's chisel shaping destiny. The mystics called this visioning, holding steady an inner picture until it burns through the veils of doubt. This is not wishful thinking. It is conscious creation through the power of sight within. You can test this power yourself. Close your eyes and imagine a life of freedom, joy, or divine purpose. Hold that vision not as hope, but as reality already unfolding. The more you dwell upon it, the more it gathers weight, until invisible hands arrange circumstances to meet it. What you imagine persistently must eventually appear. Imagination is the seedbed of miracles. The mind that dares to envision what has never been becomes a doorway for the impossible. History remembers those who used this key: Da Vinci, Tesla, prophets, poets, all dreamers whose visions remade the world. Their secret was simple. They trusted the images more than the obstacles. Thus, the key of imagination opens the door to tomorrow. You hold it whenever you choose to see beyond what is, into what could be. Train it, honor it, wield it with care, and it becomes prophecy. In its images lie the seeds of your reality, waiting for your faith to water them into form. Chapter 31. The Hidden Unity of All Paths. Across the ages, seekers have walked roads marked by different names. One wore the robes of a monk, another held the tools of a scientist, another carried scriptures close to the heart. Yet beneath the surface distinctions, each sought the same flame. The outer garments differed, but the inner fire was shared. When dogma arises, division is born. Men argue over words, symbols, and rituals, forgetting that truth is greater than the language that tries to contain it. Each tradition, when clung to as absolute, blinds the seeker to the vastness beyond. But when wisdom speaks, it calls the heart to unity where boundaries dissolve. Science measures the visible, philosophy questions meaning, and religion touches the invisible. At first glance, they seem to move in different directions. Yet, when followed deeply, all converge at the same horizon. Truth is not three separate mountains, but one peak approached from many sides. The forbidden teaching reveals that masks hide the face of oneness. Buddha, Christ, Hermes, Laozi, and countless others are voices of one eternal truth, spoken in different tongues. To honor one and deny the others is to mistake the vessel for the wine. The wine itself is eternal and cannot be divided. Imagine rivers flowing through distant lands. One is called sacred, another scientific, another philosophical. But all rivers seek the same ocean, pouring themselves into a unity they cannot resist. The ocean does not ask what name the river bore. It simply receives it into vastness. When the seeker realizes this, humility replaces pride. No longer is there need to prove one's path superior. The heart bows before the immensity of truth, recognizing that every doctrine is a window, not the sun. Through each opening shines the same eternal light, even if the colors of the glass differ. This hidden unity is the secret that dissolves conflict. Wars waged in the name of belief lose meaning when the same truth is discovered at the core of each. The wise do not fight over symbols, but drink deeply from the well that lies beneath them all. In unity, division becomes illusion. Thus, the journey of the seeker changes. Instead of clinging to one name or ritual, the soul learns to see beyond. Every chant, every theorem, every question becomes a thread in the same tapestry. The greater the diversity of the threads, the more magnificent the design. The hidden unity of all paths is not reached by abandoning differences, but by seeing through them. In the end, the seeker discovers that truth wears many masks, yet only one face. And that face, radiant and eternal, is the light toward which every path bends. Chapter 32. The Return to Source. Every seeker eventually feels the call of home, a subtle pull that whispers beneath the noise of existence. What seemed like countless roads filled with trials and discoveries begins to reveal its hidden pattern. The path was never random, nor was it meaningless. Each step, each struggle, each revelation was guiding you back to where it all began. The source is the origin and the destination alike. There is a profound truth in realizing that nothing was ever truly separate. The rivers of experience, however turbulent or calm, have always carried you toward the same ocean. What you mistook for wandering was alignment in disguise. Even detours, errors, and pains were woven into the journey of return. The source wastes nothing, for it transforms everything into guidance. To seek the source is to discover that you never left it. The illusion of distance was the veil of forgetfulness, and the moment awareness awakens, the veil begins to dissolve. What you called God, spirit, or truth has always been closer than your own breath. The great paradox is that you searched for what was already within you. The forbidden knowledge unveils that the return is not about traveling outward, but inward. You do not reach the source by climbing ladders into the sky, but by descending into the depths of your own being. In silence, in stillness, in love, you encounter what was hidden. The temple is not on a distant mountain, it was carved in your soul. Awakening comes when you realize that the circle is whole. Birth, death, and rebirth were not endless cycles, but mirrors showing you the unity of life. What began as separation ends as reunion. And in that reunion, the seeker and the sought dissolve into one. There is no longer a questioner, only the answer living itself. This return is not a loss of self, but a fulfillment of self. You become more than you imagined, yet also remember you were never less. The boundaries fall away, leaving only essence, timeless, unchanging, radiant. You are not a fragment drifting through chaos, but the wave returning to the sea, whole in its surrender. Love is the key to this homecoming. Every act of compassion, every spark of forgiveness, every glimpse of unity brings you closer to the truth. Love bridges the illusion of distance, stitching together what once felt divided. To love without condition is to live already in the source, for love is its eternal language. The journey ends as it began, in infinite being. What was hidden becomes revealed, and what was forgotten is remembered. You return not to something new, but to the original wholeness that was always your inheritance. And in that realization, fear dissolves, for nothing can separate you again from the source. The final secret rests quietly in your heart. You are home. The quest was never about finding something outside, but about awakening to what you are. Unity is not a destination, but a recognition. The source was never absent. It was you, it is you, and it will always be you. The journey through the forbidden teachings was never about gathering fragments of knowledge, but about awakening to remembrance. Each key, each hidden truth, was a mirror showing you what was already alive within your soul. What began as mystery unfolds as clarity. The seeker was always the source of the search. Knowledge was not a treasure to be claimed, but a light to be uncovered from the depths of your being. The greatest teaching is not wrapped in symbols, rituals, or secret codes, but in the realization of your own divine essence. Imagination, unity, silence, love, and return, all were signposts pointing to the same truth. You are not lost, nor are you broken. You are part of an eternal design that bends toward wholeness. Nothing was ever wasted, and nothing was ever separate. To carry this wisdom is to live differently. You no longer walk through life as one searching in darkness, but as a bearer of light. Every choice, every thought, every breath becomes an act of creation, shaping reality through the awareness of your connection to the source. This is freedom, not escape, but alignment. The forbidden teachings were only forbidden because they dissolve the illusions of control. Once you awaken, no power outside yourself can rule you. You become sovereign, not by domination but by remembrance of truth. The kingdom is within and it cannot be taken away. You are not a fragment. You are infinity remembering itself. And so the circle closes, not with finality, but with renewal. The end is the beginning, and the beginning was always the end. You return to source, not as you once were, but as one who has seen, who has lived, who has remembered. The secret is no longer hidden. The secret is you.